The British royal family has long been viewed as a symbol of strength, continuity, and tradition. Behind the polished appearances, ceremonial duties, and historic palace walls, however, lies a very human reality, one filled with emotional burdens, private struggles, and moments of deep heartbreak. Today marks one of those difficult moments, a day when sorrow quietly echoes through the palace corridors, reminding the world that even royalty is not immune to pain. On days like this, the palace feels different. There are no dramatic announcements, no public displays of grief, and no overt signs of turmoil. Instead, there is silence, a heavy, meaningful silence that speaks louder than words. Courtiers move softly, schedules are adjusted discreetly, and the usual royal smiles appear more restrained. The royal family has always adhered to a code of emotional restraint, one that values composure and duty above personal expression. Yet, that restraint often hides the depth of what they endure. Today, that unspoken weight feels heavier than usual. Being part of the royal family is not merely a privilege, it is a lifelong obligation. From birth, senior royals are trained to place the crown above personal desire. Over time, this expectation can take a profound emotional toll. Members of the family are required to attend public engagements, even during times of personal hardship. They must smile for cameras while privately processing grief, anxiety, or disappointment. This emotional discipline, while admired by many, can become an invisible burden, one that compounds during moments of collective sadness. Today's painful atmosphere is a reminder of how demanding that duty can be. Royal life is often portrayed as unified and harmonious, but like any family, disagreements and emotional distances exist. Over recent years, relationships within the royal family have faced unprecedented strain. Public scrutiny, differing paths, and conflicting values have created emotional gaps that are not easily bridged. On difficult days, these fractures feel deeper. When sorrow enters the picture, unresolved tensions can magnify the pain. The palace may appear grand and unyielding from the outside, but within its walls are individuals grappling with complicated emotions, regret, longing, and a quiet hope for healing.
What makes royal heartbreak uniquely challenging is the absence of privacy. Every expression, every gesture, and every absence is analyzed by millions. On a painful day, the family cannot simply retreat from the world. Even silence becomes a headline. Public expectation demands strength at all times. Vulnerability, though human, is often interpreted as weakness. This pressure forces the royal family to mourn discreetly, to grieve within carefully constructed boundaries. Today, that pressure feels especially heavy. Recent years have reminded the public that health struggles can strike even the most protected lives. When illness enters the royal narrative, it does not affect just one individual. It impacts the entire institution. Health challenges bring uncertainty, fear, and emotional exhaustion. They also force the family to confront their own vulnerability, something the monarchy has historically avoided acknowledging openly. On days like today, concerns about well-being, both physical and emotional, linger quietly in the background, adding another layer of sadness to the moment. The British public has a complex relationship with its monarchy. While opinions may differ, moments of sadness often unite people in shared concern. Today, many supporters express sympathy not for the crown, but for the individuals behind it. Messages of support flood social platforms. Observers note subtle changes in demeanor, tone, and presence. There is an understanding that something weighs heavily on the family, even if the full details remain private. This shared empathy reflects a growing recognition that royalty does not erase humanity. Another silent contributor to today's heartbreak is the immense pressure placed on future generations. Younger royals grow up under constant observation, aware that every choice they make could shape the monarchy's future. On painful days, questions about legacy and responsibility feel more urgent. How much should one sacrifice for tradition? Where does personal happiness fit within centuries-old expectations? These questions, though rarely voiced publicly, influence the emotional climate inside the palace.
One of the most difficult forms of heartbreak is unresolved grief. Whether tied to strained relationships, past losses, or missed opportunities, unresolved emotions have a way of resurfacing during quiet moments. Within the royal family, where public reconciliation is rare and private apologies are seldom acknowledged, grief can linger. Today feels like one of those moments when the past gently but painfully returns. It is not always about a single event. It is about everything that has gone unsaid. Despite the sorrow, the royal family's response remains consistent: dignity, composure, and continuity. Engagements proceed, duties are fulfilled, and the monarchy moves forward, because it must. This quiet perseverance is both admirable and heartbreaking. It demonstrates resilience, yet it also underscores how little space there is for emotional release. Strength in this context is not loud. It is measured, restrained, and deeply internal.
Days like today challenge the public to look beyond titles and protocol. Behind every crown is a human being with fears, regrets, and hopes. The palace may symbolize power, but it also shelters vulnerability. This painful day serves as a reminder that empathy should not stop at the palace gates. As the day unfolds, there is no dramatic conclusion, no resolution neatly tied with a ribbon. Instead, there is reflection. Reflection on duty, family, sacrifice, and the emotional cost of living a life forever in the public eye. Heartbreak inside the palace does not always announce itself. Sometimes it arrives quietly, settles deeply, and leaves a lasting imprint. Today is one of those days. The royal family will continue, as it always has. Traditions will be upheld, appearances maintained, and the institution preserved. Yet, beneath the surface, today's sadness will linger, a private chapter in a very public story. Heartbreak does not weaken the monarchy. If anything, it reveals its humanity. And in that humanity, the world finds a reason to care.